Hello, this is Jim from Total Nerdy Channel, and you are watching how to clean up your hard drives from all the junk you do not need. So today we're going to make a deep dive and just remove all the stuff you do not need, so that you can hopefully get like 50 gigabytes free or something like that. So let's get into it and, let's get into it. Lots of disk cleanup tutorials are unfortunately filled with meaningless steps that confuse more than help. In this tutorial, I aim to be more effective, useful, and still thorough. So let us begin. I open up my computer here. You can see I only have 3 gigs left on my hard drive, and I'm even recording to it. This is an issue. I do have some other hard drives and, well, there is a lot of files to delete as well. So let us begin with the most obvious step, which is going into your downloads folder as well as your Recyclebin. We can right-click it and look at properties, and we can see how many gigabytes are in the downloads folder. So we're going to it, and I've checked all these files now, so I can mark them all and just hold Shift and click Delete. In this, they will not cycle through the Recyclebin and just get deleted instantly. There we go, 1.7 gigs free. Open up the Recyclebin and check through the files here if there is anything you want to keep. And if there is not, you'll just hold Ctrl, click A, and then click Delete. And you will permanently delete these files. And now we can see we have 21 gigabytes free. Fantastic! Now we will run disk cleanup. To do this, hover over your C drive, right-click on it, select Properties, and then you'll select Disk Cleanup here. Inside Disk Cleanup, we should check this thing. Clean up system files, and it will check the system for a couple of minutes. And here you can see Windows Update Cleanup. We can check this. We can also remove junk from Microsoft Defender that's no longer needed, and Windows Update log files. Downloaded program files and temporary internet files. We can check them as well. Windows error reports, DirectX shader cage, and delivery optimization files. The stuff you find here is files that are not needed, so you can basically go and check all these files. Inside of here, you may also empty the Recyclebin if you haven't already done so. We can also clean up some temporary files. So basically all of these files here can be removed. They are no longer needed, but you might not be able to upgrade to or downgrade your previous version of Windows, but you can just check all these here and select OK, and you will be able to clean them up. Very nice. And we'll be able to get back 6 gigabytes from this. Are you sure? Yes, we are. And there we freed up some space. So, you can do this on the other drives. And we can see for this drive there is nothing to clean up. And let's select our F drive, this cleanup. Nothing there either. And there we go. Now we cleaned up or checked all the drives with Disk Cleanup tool. Very useful. Now we're going to look at restore points. It's easiest to find the restore point by searching restore point and click create a restore point. So inside here we can see which of the drive has restore points, and it is the C drive only in my case. So basically you can undo some system changes and revert back to a previous restore point, and it's a safety feature that Windows has. What you can do is you can go into configure, and you can see that my restore point is really small. But if it's big, if it's like set to 50%, it's probably like 100 gigs or more. So what you would do is to click delete the restore point. And now it's deleted, fantastic. And then you would, set it to a lower value, just a few percent, and click apply and OK. and then you'll need to create a restore point. Just write in today's date or something, and you just click create. And the larger you set it to be, the longer it will take to create this restore point. And there we go, successfully created. Now, what you also can do if you basically back up everything yourself with like macro and reflect image stuff, and you don't want this feature, is to just click configure and disable system protection, click apply, and yes, and then you will have no gigabytes that are used to make a restore point. But it's probably smart for most users to have a few percentage dedicated to system restore if something would happen and you would need help from some technician or something. But I'll do backups of my stuff, so I will turn it off. And I got back a few gigs. Alright, well now you'll go down to the Windows flag and right click it, and you'll just click Settings. And here in Settings you click System, Storage. Storage Sense can automatically help you get rid of unused files. So for example, if we go in here, we can turn this on and go to Configure Storage Sense and run it when we have low free disk space like that, and automatically delete stuff in the Recyclebin older than 30 days, and even the same type of stuff for the downloads folder. You can do it if you want to use it. And then you'll just, not have to think about it very often. But the storage sense, you can also delete some stuff, manually as well. Here you have some listed values of what types of files we have and how much. So for example, it will tell me a lot of my big files. Like in here, we have some folders that take a lot of space, and I can go into them and delete some files here. But I'll show you a better tool for this later. We can also see apps and features we can uninstall from here, but I'll show you a better program of uninstalling stuff later, because it removes more of the junk. And we also have how many stuff we have on desktop, as well as temporary files. Now the storage in settings does a similar thing to disk cleanup, so you don't really need to care much about it. I don't think it's very useful at all. But if you wanted to automatically delete stuff in Recyclebin or download folder, this is a great utility built into Windows, and you can keep that in check. And also make it clean up some stuff when it's getting full. But I will leave it off because I prefer some more manual control. One thing you can do here, however, is to go down here and change where new content is saved. So for example, I can make this install new apps on like another of my drives, for example. But for me, this will make things very confusing where exactly I have stuff, but it will look automatic. So everything will be in your like music folder and something like that, even though you change drives. I just want to have my stuff where I know they are. So that's up to you, but you can do this change here. You can also move the entire music or movies or pictures folder to another drive if you want to. That's absolutely doable. But that's nothing you do here. Here you just change where new content is saved. But that's a useful feature that you might want to use. One would imagine this stuff being automatic, but it really isn't. You can use CCleaner for some of this, but I'll show you how to do it just manually. So go to your Windows search and just write in %temp and just enter. And inside here you have a lot of weird folders and files, and just hold Ctrl and click A. Just mark them all, and you'll just hold Shift and click Delete. Do this and you will be getting back some gigs or a couple of 100 megabytes. And the ones that can't get deleted easily, just click Skip on them. And do this for all and click Skip and just let it run. Alright, they are gone, so hold Windows key and click R like in Roger. And then you'll write in temp here as well, and we get to another temp folder. And you'll just do the same, click Ctrl+A, Shift+Delete, delete all these files, and give permission and skip if some things are impossible to delete. And there we go. There is also this Windows service that helps you start programs faster. So hold the Windows key and click R and write in prefetch. And here we are in the prefetch folder. You can go back one step, right click on it, click properties, and you can see how big it is. For some people there is some big bug, and if it's like a couple of gigs you can go into it and just delete everything, and that's absolutely fine. But if it's just a few megabytes like in this case, don't bother. Oh, and while we are at this Windows folder, we will do some deep diving. So go down to Software Distribution, this folder, go into it, then you go to Download. And well, you don't know how much this is, but if you go back here you can click properties and we can see it's almost a gig. So we can go in here, click Ctrl+A to mark them all, Shift+Delete and delete this. And then we give some permission. Inside of this folder we have old versions of Windows from Windows Update, so and stuff like that, and you can delete them, they're no longer needed. But if you want to revert to an earlier version, you probably should not delete this folder, just so you know. But if you're happy with your current version, just delete it. Alright, more folder diving. Dive into C drive, and you will go to this C ProgramData, Microsoft Search, Data, Application and Windows. Usually the ProgramData folder is hidden, so it might be easier to just copy this search path from the description, paste it into the Explorer and click enter, and you will get here. Now what you need to check is this thing, Windows EDB. This is the search indexing database, and for some people it's very large. For me it's only slightly 1 gigabyte, which is absolutely fine. But if it's, I don't know, 100 gigs for some people, it can be, then we will need to do some stuff and rebuild our search indexing. But if it's this small, you don't need to do anything, but I will show you how to do this process. So to do this, go to Windows Search and you will write indexing or search indexing options. Inside here you will first go to Advanced. In Advanced Options you will go to File Types. Here we can see Index Properties Only or Index Properties and File Contents. You will select Index Properties Only if this isn't selected already and click OK. Inside here you click Modify and you click Show All Locations, and you hover over the different stuff you may and may not want to index. For example, I don't need to index my photos because I don't use search to find any of my photos. So I can uncheck this box and then I click OK. But I do want to check that my music is indeed indexed. And it is beautiful, because that's the only thing I search, and I just click OK. So if you open up settings here and write in Windows Search Settings, go into that, and you can see that pictures are now on the excluded list, just like we set up. You can also go to this PC and right click on some of the drives, and you can see that we can uncheck allow this drive to have contents indexed in addition to file properties. So you can like turn off indexing for entire big drives. So if you have a big storage drive of like 8 terabytes, and it's a smart idea to just turn off indexing if you don't search that drive very often. Also save some performance. So when you change the indexing locations and stuff like that, you want to go to Indexing Options, click Advanced, and then you'll go here under Troubleshooting, Delete and Rebuild Index. We'll click Rebuild and just click OK. And it will take some time to rebuild the index. So the drives will work, but you may just close this down and it will work in the background to make your new fresh index, which hopefully will be a lot smaller. And you can go in the previous location and check the actual database file and see how big it is after the process is done. Now I'll show you a little unusual procedure that might get back 8 gigabytes for you, 7 to 8 gigabytes permanently larger space. And this is a space that is usually reserved for Windows updates. So in order to give you Windows updates even though you have low disk space drive. But if you rather want to use this space as you want to, you can disable this feature. So what we'll do is we'll start PowerShell. And we can just go down to deflag here, right click on it and click on Windows PowerShell admin, or search up PowerShell and right click and start as admin. So inside here we will write in get Windows reserved storage state and click enter. And it says it's disabled. However, if it is enabled, you can disable it and you will get back this space. You will write in get Windows reserved storage state space dash state disabled and click enter. There, I got it. Just write in that. I of course pasted these commands into the description. However, you won't get back these 8 gigabytes directly. They will come back after the next Windows update. But after that you'll have them forever. There is another little thing you should do if you use Microsoft Store. I don't, but I can show you how to do it. So write in ws reset.exe in PowerShell admin and just click enter. And it will now clear out the cache of the Windows Store or Microsoft Store, so will you have a cleaner experience and remove some junk files. Very nice. And as long as it's blinking like this, it is working, and you will get back to the normal state when, well, it's done. And there we are, so now we can close it down. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, there is a lot of folders you could clear out cache in, but they're not usually that big. So I will give you the folder that might be a little bit big that you can clear out. So go into your ProgramData folder, NVIDIA Corporation, and then we go to NV cache, and this thing, we can delete everything we can delete. You want to know how big this is? Well, it is, for my case, almost half a gig. So I think it's worth clearing this thing out. And just click Shift+Delete everything there. And there we go. And if you don't have an NVIDIA card, you'll not need to care about this. Now it's possible that you want to store some of your storage folders, like these music, pictures, or downloads, or videos on another location. And what you do is you can right click on them and click Properties. Then we can go to Location tab here. And here you can move the location to another drive if you want to. And just select Folder and click Apply. Now I have already moved my Pictures folder to my F drive. But I will do it for the Downloads folder. We can click Properties, Location, Move. So inside the D drive we can create a Downloads folder. And just select Folder. And then we'll click Apply. And then we get this little query. Move folder. Do you want to move all the files from the old location to the new location? And of course we will click Yes. So now all our downloads is in D downloads, but it will of course be accessible. If you just click Downloads, you will get into this folder on the D drive. And if you go to our user folder and to downloads, we can see the old downloads folder is here, and it's of course empty, and no new files will be saved here. It will be the D downloads area we have selected. So that's all jolly and good. You can move your movies, pictures, documents, downloads, everything of those user files to another drive if you wish to. It's absolutely fine. Just move them over there and you will free up some space on your main drive. Pretty useful. There is this fantastically useful application called WinDirStat. It gives a visual representation of how big the files are by showing them as color clusters. So download this application and install it. It's free from ads as well. And just select the drive you want to index and click OK. Now indexing this will take a little bit of time, so just wait for it. Great, we're done scanning. And if you want to know what big files are here, well, you can just click on a big file and you can see here, it's Satisfactory. A game I have installed, that's big. And if I don't want this game anymore, I know, okay, I need to uninstall this game to get the 10 gigabytes free. Fantastic. And what do we have here? A hibernation file. If you don't use hibernation, you should turn it off, but I think it's a super useful feature and I gladly spent 6 gigs on it. What is this for an enormous file? Well, it's an old recording, and oh my god, it's 37 gig. Glad I found it so easily, and I can delete this one as well. And I can delete this file permanently. Fantastic. And now it recalculates and give you the new space. So here we have, oh, I have my already done videos. Well, I can move those videos to a new file location, like for my backup drive, for example. So, you know, this and this, it should free up to 10 gigs for me. So I'll move them to my archive drive instead. And there we go. Now we have 70 gigs free. Fantastic. So now let us run another little application that is quite useful. I recommend this tool for anyone who want to clean out their system a little bit more thorough, maybe do some of this automatic removal of the temporary folders. This tool does it, and that's CCleaner. It's free to use, they have a free version, but when you go to their homepage, be careful to not accidentally select their pro trial. They're a little bit sneaky about it. So what we can do first is go to Tools and go to the uninstaller. CCleaner's uninstaller is absolutely great, and you'll see a lot of different softwares which you don't see anywhere else popping up in like Windows. And it does do a much better job at removing the files you don't want to have than many other applications. And especially the built-in Microsoft one. So for example, Figma, I haven't used it at all. So we can just uninstall this client, and we just click uninstall. And we can even uninstall some Windows Store apps, which are not usually uninstallable, but you know. There we have it, and Figma agent, we can uninstall that as well. And sometimes they are kind of still here, and when you click uninstall, you get this little issue here. So you just click F5 and then update it, and you can see now it's gone. Here you can see enlisted, it's 15 gigs. I want to uninstall this, so you can just uninstall it here. 15 gigs back, fantastic. So that's how it goes. Uninstall everything you don't need. Just go through this list of programs, and for the programs you had before but no longer use, or programs that came with your PC and you never bothered to uninstall, well, you can uninstall them here. Fantastic and easy. Now we'll go back to this custom clean session. Here we have Windows, cache cookies like Microsoft Edge, Chromium, Windows Explorer, like a lot of different stuff here, like empty Recyclebin, temporary files, blah blah blah. You can leave everything checked in like it is. And be a little bit careful, because if you click in everything, you might remove more than you want to remove, but the preset options are very much good enough. Then you can go to application, and you might understand that your internet browser has cache and cookies, and you can delete those cache and cookies by checking these boxes. You can even delete the session, so all your tabs you have up, but I don't want to do it. Even Thunderbird, we can delete session, site preferences, stuff there, I haven't used it in a while. And yeah, basically that. So just check everything you want to delete, and here we have Skype Metro app. So stuff that's already pre-checked is usually good enough, but you can click in some other things you want to clean up. And remember, this doesn't remove these programs, it just clears up the cache and temporary files of these programs. So even though you click in everything here, nothing will stop working. It will just clear up unused files. So we have both these checked, and we can click Run Cleaner directly or just analyze to see how much we actually would be able to remove. So 5 gigs. We can remove 5 gigs doing this. So let's run the cleaner and get those 5 gigabytes back. And there we go, 5 gigabytes removed. And now we can go to registry and let all these be checked and just scan for some different keys and weird data in the registry. So wherever you like missing stuff and weird stuff going on in the registry that's not proper anymore and changed, it leaves some junk behind, and usually this junk is very small, but if you've never done this clean, it can be a substantial amount. So it's worth running a registry check, and you just review selected issues, which is all, and it asks you to make a backup. That's smart. I'll just click Fix All Selected Issues and close, and I've done that for years and I haven't had any issues yet, but if you get some issues, don't blame me. It asks you to make a registry restore point, which is probably smart, but well, as I said, I never had any issues, so I'll continue to do this. And there we have it. We removed all this issue. Don't know how much space it were per se, but well, let us check our drive now. And now we're done with CCleaner. You can also go to options and of course turn off it starting every time the system starts. It's probably a good idea to not have it run every time your system starts. But it's a great tool in general, so I hope that helped you. And now you can see I have 83 gigabytes free on this drive, and if I would have moved my pictures and music to the other drives, it would be probably maybe 500 gigabytes free. But well, we almost freed up 100 gigabytes, probably more, because I have been recording all this time and those files are huge. So there you go, pretty useful. Cleaning up the drive in a nice effective way with not a lot of bullshit steps that only give you like a few megabytes and can be automated with stuff like CCleaner. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope this video helped you and that your computer has a lot more free space now. So in any case, if it did clean up some gigabytes for you, drop a like on this video and I'll see you in future ones. This is your host, Jim, signing out.